So the last, please be patient, it's 10 minutes more and then you can go. So, because I think it's important that we have one of the organizers that is going to kind of conclude and kind of give the perspectives of what's going on the next, maybe next symposium. So, please welcome.
Schei, and one of the organizers, and also a writer and an artist as well. And on behalf of the First Supper Symposium, I would like to thank you all for making this such an amazing experience that we hope it would be. I have to say it's beyond our expectations, really. I'm so happy about this. And about our performers, I have to say, to see the tenacity, the amount of guts, the strength, the insight in this small group of people, and all of you as well. I'm really quite moved by all the statements and the lectures. I've learned so much, and most of all, I feel greatly inspired by it, which sort of was our goal, I think. I also want to thank Anne for doing the suffragette song, the performance we just saw. He made it especially for this symposium, which I think is amazing. And he gives us a lovely homage to the suffragette movement. So thank you. Okay, as you've seen during these 3 days, to celebrate the centennial of women's suffrage and to have a look at where women stand in the art world today, we invited people that we thought we could categorize under active solutions in the art world. And we think we've picked some of the most important artists in Norway, and actually some of the most influential artists in the world. And our goal now is that we all can learn from their experiences and to be inspired to take these issues in our own hands. As pointed out by several of the speakers, Norway and Scandinavia we're known for our gender politics. Norway being one of the first countries that gave women the right to vote and all. And some might say that 100 years isn't really that long, and things will change, we just have to be patient. But I think it's important to be impatient. There are huge issues yet to be solved, and not only in the art world, of course. We are far from equal pay, and women work more involuntarily part-time than men. And Norway also have one of the most gender-segregated labour markets in the world, as Line talked about. And although 60% of the students in higher education are women and 50% of the PhD students are female, still only 21% of the professors are women. We still take more responsibility at home, and despite great changes in paternity leave, women are still the main caretakers. Not to mention that domestic violence is an increasing problem, and the rape statistics are growing every year. The other day, Lisa, in the symposium group, she asked me when I found out I was a feminist. And I think I have to give credit to my grandmother for that, actually, who was actually born the year women got the right to vote. And she wasn't important to my views because she was such an inspirational woman who told me the way of the world, but quite the opposite, actually, and unfortunately, because I knew her as disillusioned and bitter. She was a brilliant woman in so many ways. She was a great writer, painter, and she could speak several languages fluently. And as a lonely child, she was almost raised as a boy. For instance, she was the first female driver in her hometown. And she was, without a doubt, envisioned an academic career. But because of the Great Recession in the 30s, her father decided that it wasn't worthwhile to send her to college, the university. He couldn't spend all that money on a woman because, after all, she was just that, a woman. And she was 18 years old at the time. And first then, I think, she really realized that there was still a huge difference between the genders that she didn't really know was there. And I think this was her life's biggest tragedy, that she couldn't go to the university. And it took something away from her that she never got back. And thanks to hers and my mother's generations, I have had the opportunities she didn't by far. But I have to say, I can really relate to the feeling when you first realize that there's a huge gender gap in our society still. And although I feel pretty scholar in gender issues, it still keeps hitting me in the face again and again. And the most obvious issue nowadays, because I'm in my starting of the 30s, people are getting children. And I see so many of my friends, going back to the typical traditional gender roles in the home. And by all means, people must do what's right for them. And of course, many get angry with me when I point this out. Because I don't have children, so what the fuck do I know? But it's just impossible not to notice that what's right for them is so often the woman taking more responsibility at home. And it's her pension and her promotion that goes to her. And so, as Judy has pointed out, and many of the others, one thing is equality by law, but all views are rooted in and the rooted expectations are harder to change. And that is why it really pisses me off that a lot of the gender debates nowadays, especially in the media and the public eye, are often about men. What have equality done for their masculinity? I just read an article in Aftenposten, a Norwegian newspaper, about how Norway is considered one of the most feminine countries in the world, whatever that means. Yeah. We don't have equality, some say now. We have female dominance. What? Yeah, it's mind-blowing to me. And the statistics clearly say something else, as Elina McGeorge showed us earlier today. And we're miles and miles away from equality in the art world. And I also want to point out that how important that we actually have the statistics, as Natalie also pointed out. So we have the facts, we need the facts. And many of you have addressed this, and we've also heard a lot of solutions, I think. Like Project Javier, Arakistain, yeah, something like that. Cool name, by the way. He talked about, and maybe we can learn something from that, and that's why we do these symposiums and try to learn from each other. And Wenche and Lotte's Wikipedia project, I think will be great, and I will urge you all to take part in this. Or collective strategies, like Guy talked about, and Judy did as well, and others. Or Frank, who when they found the art scene in Oslo lacking in space for critical discourse of gender issues, they created one of their own. And I really look forward to their next event, because I haven't attended one yet. Okay. And maybe most importantly, as many of you have pointed out, we have to question whom our history is written by and about, and who is left out, of course. And I commemorate the artists and creators Eline Mugås and Elise Storsjön for their historical research, as we just heard from Will Braadlie. They dived into a huge part of history that hadn't been written, and did. The importance of projects like this cannot be exaggerated. Yeah, and I look forward to reading the book that Arco Dolven was really shocked that more of us didn't know about, The andra halvten av avantgarden. We shall all spread it around, because that is how we can increase recognition of female artists. And events like the First Supper
Yeah, I love making speeches.
Okay. Events like the First Supper Symposium are also part of the solution as well, I think, by raising these questions and hopefully to raise awareness. Because many of the speakers have mentioned they're concerned that the younger generation don't acknowledge feminist issues. And unfortunately, I think to a degree that's true. You can even say that in some ways we're actually walking backwards, if you can say that. Oh, yeah, okay, I have to talk about that another time, I think. But yeah, we are planning a new event in the fall. Gidsken just doesn't know about it yet. But it's after a healthy summer break, so it'll be cool, right? And we can take our discussions further, because, there's billions of issues still. And if you have good ideas, or you want to participate in any way, you're more than welcome. And this symposium could definitely have had a wider perspective, of course, and we need to broaden our base with people with different backgrounds and views and ideas. So consider yourself called for. All right? Okay. We have a lot of people to thank. First of all, I sincere gratitude to Jude Chicago for believing in this project, for seeing that a small group of people could make a pretty huge event like this. And it's also, she understood how important it was for her to participate, and we couldn't have done this without a star, I think. I think her courage and strength is a great inspiration to us, and her work and thoughts will be essential for years to come. The same have to be said about the fantastic Dr. Elizabeth Sackler, who I didn't really know before this, I have to admit. It's philanthropists like her that have lifted the importance of women artists and have given them rooms of their own to, yeah, you all know that phrase. So I have to thank her for her enthusiasm. And she's given us unique perspectives, I think, as well. And we're also honoured that Andrew Pachuk, Javier Acayiltan, and Professor McCarthy have taken the time from the busy schedule to come to Norway and participate in this. I've learned so much from all three of you, and especially I think we needed the perspectives given by Professor McCarthy on the role of the female artists that played in the war in Iraq. It's always important to see artists as dissidents, and art is participatory democracy. So it's see something, say something. It's fantastic to hear that. And it also made such a huge impression to hear Katja from Pussy Riot when she Skyped with us in the banquet on Saturday. As artists, we should always question the authorities, and it's important to show solidarity with those who have to fight for freedom of expression. It's also been so great to experience up close some of our most influential people from the Norwegian art scene. When the American scholar Camille Paglia visited earlier this year, and she said that Scandinavia has erased the differences between the genders, and that we live in a fictional world, a boring place without any conflicts. So apparently we don't produce great art either. I think this symposium shows the contrary. Hearing you all talk about your work and getting your views, really gives me the boost and drive to continue as a writer and artist. And I'm convinced that a lot of you in the audience feel the same way. And Wenche Gulbrandsen, she sometimes jokes with the fact that she doesn't really have any friends left because she's so always so outspoken. But I think it's because of those who dare to raise their voice and address uncomfortable issues that change may come. It's a cliche, obviously, but it's true. Otherwise, things will always stay the same. And I remember at the Art Academy, some teachers told me it would be wise to tone down my feminist views in my work, because it wasn't sexy enough, or it would label me and my work to a huge degree. And I was quite shocked by that, and of course I didn't listen. But if it wasn't for artists like Wenche, maybe I would have, or Kate, who always gives 110%. Nothing can stop her. Even getting rape threats and death threats, she still goes on because she believes in the issues. Okay, I don't have time to mention all of you, but we're really moved by all the goodwill and dedication we've gotten during all of this. We didn't get many no's from people we asked to participate. And to us, that clearly shows how important events like these are. And through the year, there have already been a lot of great events with the same goal as us around the country. And hopefully this means that we're taking part in reviving a large discussion about gender in that this country sorely needs. A huge applause to all the fantastic participants, please. 2 more minutes. Okay. Now, Hannah, thank you for the fantastic job you've done guiding us through these days. I'm amazed with your skills, and to keep this outspoken gang in line. We have got you this really great book, Art and Feminism, and that I think you will love. So thank you so much. least, I would like to thank the two individuals who had the vision and the dream to make this happen. Lisa and Gidsken, my fellow organisers. Lisa said that the only way to make a big difference is to make a big dream. And damn, was she right? You American go-getter. I mean, I would never thought that you could actually just call up to Chicago and ask her to come, or Elizabeth Sackler. Yeah, Lisa showed us. You can. So thank you so much. It's people like you that really drives us all forward, I think. And Gidsken, thank you for ruling this monster from America. It's been an easy job. Without the two of you, none of this would have happened, and it's been a privilege to work with you both. So, but thank God, it's 100 years the next time. Okay, finally, we hope that all of you will join us at the City Hall for a finissage. I mean, it's to discuss some more. I mean, there can never be enough time to talk, and also to celebrate a little as well. There will be wine and canapes, I think. Yeah, so great. Huh? And possibly a tour.
And all the speakers will be there, I hope.
Yeah. So it's the last chance to say goodbye to Judy and the guys, girls. Oops. Okay. Before I release you, just 30 seconds please, I would like to share one of my favorite passages from the essay Coming to Writing by the great feminist thinker and author Helseth, whom I actually disagree with a great lot, but you know, she has had an enormous impact on me through that disagreement, I think. I only found the Norwegian translation of the French one, so I've translated myself, so bear with me. Just short. Let go, drop everything, lose everything, make your distance. Take to the sea, take the letter, listen, nothing is found. Nothing is lost, everything is defined. Jump, fly, swim, rush forward, soar downwards, run through. Love the unknown, love the uncertain. Love what yet not has been seen. Love no one, what you are, what you will become. Leave yourself, freeing you from all lies. Dare what you dare not, that's where you feel pleasure. Never make your hair by other than you're there. And rejoice, rejoice over fear. Be where you dare not be, push yourself forward, that's the right path. Thank you.